Here from Paris, I'm joined by internationally known poet Aja Monet. It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
I'm really excited for your performance. I know that you're used to traveling, so what does it feel like to perform to so many diverse audiences?
It feels invigorating, makes me feel alive, and each time it's a new experience that I gain, and I learn a lot about the exchange of human interaction with every audience. Each audience is a new experience.
I know how to reach difficult places, how to be broken and put together again. I know my arms are long and my hands remind me of vines.
And you talked about learning, and I know you graduated from college, and after that you pursued your dreams of performing poetry as a career. So it's this idea of keeping education first. So how did education open doors for you?
I think education provided the resources in form of human beings who were concerned with my learning process, concerned with creating an individual that was aware and had access to opportunities that could open up my mind about the world and the field that I was really into. It was usually my English teachers in the preliminary stages in high school that were really excited about what I was writing, what I was doing, and then that led to me going to school, to college, and then off to grad school. So education just allowed the resources and the opportunities to pursue what I really loved, which was writing and poetry. It opened up those doors, access to different types of individuals from all over who had the same passion and helped fuel the learning process of that passion.
And you talk about the learning process, and a lot of the messages throughout your poems are about social change. Mm-hmm. So how are college students the leaders of tomorrow?
Well, they're in institutions that allow them the space in their lives and the time to really figure out what their role is in the world. And if they use the time valuably, they can really take advantage of every avenue and opportunity that usually institutions provide, which is free thinkers, individuals who are actively pursuing their education, actively trying to pursue a craft or a field, a department of studies that allows them to really make a stamp in the world. So college for me is the space where you start to meet individuals who are the future leaders if they allow themselves to take advantage of those opportunities. And that's what I found myself doing in college.
Making a stamp on the world, that's what really stuck out to me. Because it deals with leadership, and I know that there's so much more competition in bigger cities. So what advice do you have for UNL students about taking their talent to the next level and, like you said, making that stamp on the world?
Don't be afraid to make a difference in small ways and to recognize the importance of those small differences. That it takes a multitude of those small differences, a multiplicity, a lot of those small differences to make change. So I think in a place like Nebraska, having people who recognize the importance of being in a town that allows you to really make new waves and change the community precisely because of its small demographic is important to recognize that as well, that small communities, it's usually small communities that make a larger difference, and many of them.
And struggling, she noted the children tumbling in scraped knees, the faces of our mothers parched and inevitable.
And you've definitely made a huge difference. What's next for you? What are your upcoming projects?
Music, using poetry. I'm still teaching and working with young people. I would love to teach on a collegiate level. I'd love to continue to travel and be supported in doing so, and to help poetry take new social activist demographics and ranges and ways of enlightening that aspect of the poetic technique. I have this idea of doing like cards, like...
What kind of cards?
Like, just like Christmas cards, not Christmas cards, but like holiday cards, redoing like the ways that people write in their cards, little poems, stuff like that. Books, I really am into the craft making of books right now. I'm working with someone in Paris about redoing the craft of bookmaking and looking at poetry as a vehicle of collaborating with illustrations and collaborating with different artists who really are into that field. Just taking my craft into other spaces that I necessarily might not have considered prior to starting to write and perform. So, yeah.
Going back to the cards, if you did make your own cards, what would your cards be about?
It would say all sorts of things. One of the things it would say is if you want to see how ugly the world is, place something beautiful in it. And that's a quote from Abiodun Oyewole of The Last Poets, who I admire. And usually it's common phrases, everyday things that people say or do that inspire these small sentences that can really transform your day. So I would like to do more of those little moments in every day where somebody could take a card and just see it and their whole day is inspired to do something totally different.
I understand that you released a book in 2012, Chorus, and you worked on that with Saul Williams. So tell me more about that.
Yes, it was actually the original reason of being excited about going to Paris, because he was living there. So we went there to work on, I went there to work on that book, and it was essentially we call it a literary mixtape, where we collaborated with poets from all over the world and created this full storyline that Saul essentially put these poems together and created a storyline.
So you want to be in bookstores throughout Paris, throughout Nebraska, throughout the world. Thank you so much for coming to UNL. I'm really excited for your performance.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Definitely, and you've already visited us at UNL, so now it's our turn to go visit you in Paris
yes.
and see you perform.
Yes.
In the meantime, Aja Monet, how can we keep up with what you're doing?
You can look at my website at ajamonet.com, or you can go to, I'm on Twitter at Aja_Monet, and there's also a Facebook page that everyone can go like and keep up with updates, posts, and etc.
And we'll definitely stay posted. I'm Brianna Foster. Thanks for watching.